If there's one thing that cheaters excel at, it's making excuses. They definitely like to try to pass off their behavior, their choices, as rational. At the same time, they paint us as somehow deserving of what they did. And I know for me, when my ex-husband first started making these excuses, well, they hurt. I took them personally, and it also started to make me question myself. But over time, and with listening to more people that have been cheated on, I realized these excuses aren't completely what they seem. So I'm going to take you through several of the common excuses that cheaters like to use and help you unravel them. So they like to say that we are needy, yet they're the ones that make us feel insecure. Sometimes it's overt. Sometimes they make disparaging comments about your appearance or your weight or how you're not what they're looking for. Other times it's harder to see. But we notice, somehow we feel, even before we know, that their attention is turned elsewhere. It's those little rejections that leave us feeling insecure. And sometimes in response to that, we become needy. We try to grasp on. Cheaters like to say that we're crazy, yet often they're the ones that drove us there. It's quite frequent that gaslighting is a feature of infidelity. In order to distract from what they're doing, they try to make us feel that what we are seeing, what we hear, well, that's not true. That's not how it happened. I never said that. You didn't see that. And so we start to question ourselves, question our sanity. Sometimes cheaters will use the excuse of, well, we didn't give them enough attention. Yet the truth is they're too distracted to notice. It makes me think of, the trope of the half-naked wife walking in front of football on the TV and the husband is just like, get out of the way. If their attention is elsewhere, they're not going to notice us, no matter how much attention we're giving to them. Sometimes they say that we're distant, yet they are the ones that pushed us away. And rejection hurts. And so a common response to rejection is to wall yourself off, to say, okay, well, I'm not going to let myself be hurt anymore. And after you've been rejected so many times, you're not going to let yourself be vulnerable. So yeah, you are going to feel distant, only because you're trying to protect yourself. This was one that bothered me quite a bit. They say that we don't know them, yet they refuse to open up. How in the world are we supposed to know and respond to them when they refuse to let us actually see them? If all we see is a mask, that's all we can respond to. They say that we are no fun, yet they leave us holding all of the responsibilities. And I hear this one so often from couples with children, where one of them will step up and be the adult and be the parent once the children are born, and the other partner resents those extra responsibilities and just wants to play, but then blames the other one for no longer being fun. But somebody has to step up and be the adult. They say that we are snooping and questioning, yet they are the ones that are hiding things. And so some of it comes from that feeling that you're crazy and you're looking for validation that what you're sensing is real. They say that we're critical, yet they refuse to hold up their end of the bargain. And yeah, when they're acting like an entitled jerk, they're going to be called out on that. And often that's valid. They say that we're angry, yet they keep making false promises and dashing our expectations. Ultimately, they say we're the bad guy, but they need for us to be the bad guy in order to justify their actions. Affairs don't happen in a vacuum. So when they're trying to blame their actions on you, perhaps they're conflating the order that those things happened. Maybe you were that way because of what they did. Even before you knew about the affair, even before you knew what was really happening, it was still impacting you. No less than a cancer will cause you harm even before the diagnosis. So don't let their excuses bring you down. Remember their need for those excuses. Look at what they have to gain by making that claim. And never, ever, ever let somebody with a questionable character determine your worth.